Good afternoon. Welcome to the Recovering Perfectionist Mama podcast, Grace in Progress. I am Buffy, and for those of you that don't know me, I am a women's lifestyle creator on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, diving into issues such as marriage and family, children, child rearing, discipline, as well as mindset, self-empowerment, self-improvement, lifestyle hacks, self-empowerment, self-improvement, all the things that we are currently working on. And so ultimately my goal is to arm you with information, and you can decide whether it's useful for you or not. And then if you choose to implement it, hopefully it can help you reach some of your goals, level up, because that is the ultimate name of the game, right? Leveling up and doing better for ourselves and modeling that for our children so that they know that a good life is actually possible. And that be maybe part of our legacy, right? What could be better? So if you are a returning person who's watched our podcast in the past, also happy to have you. If you're a new person, also happy to have you as well. I hope that you will get some insights into this. This is probably going to be a pretty short podcast. So let's dive in. Our topic today is connection on the fly, staying close when life gets busy. Time is short. Energy is scarce, and your relationships feel like you're running on fumes. What if I told you that staying deeply connected doesn't have to take hours a day or even feel like a chore? Today, I'm sharing fast, actionable strategies to maintain connection even when life is pulling you in a million different directions. Let's talk about the reality check. We often are shuttled from place to place to place on a daily, weekly, monthly, sometimes even hourly basis, aren't we? And that is the issue, because it's like, what do you dedicate your time to? Do you dedicate most of your time to your kids? Do you dedicate most of your time to your work? Do you dedicate most of your time? Maybe you have ailing parents and you need to worry about that. Or, you have other responsibilities that you've promised other family members. And then you have digital distractions. Everything just keeps piling on you until you feel like you're at the bottom of an avalanche and you can't get out no matter what you do. And time just keeps flying, right? If you're feeling that way, I know how you feel. I feel absolutely the same. It's like sometimes you look at the clock and it's like 9 a.m. And then you look back later and it's like 5 already. It's like, what the heck happened? So let's talk about how many times have you sat next to your partner on the couch scrolling phones instead of talking? I know a lot of us do it, and I feel like it's become such a huge habit because I remember when handhelds did not have internet, right? So your choices were very limited. It was texting, which was the old slow way, with the ABC that came on the regular telephones. So that wasn't, as much fun or as gratifying, or did not release as much dopamine into our brains as the modern phones do. And it's almost like an automatic reaction. Sorry, it was an automatic reaction. Like pick it up and just, and I think we all do it, and it's unfortunate. But that is the time that we could have been connecting, right? That is the time that we could be relishing like what went good in our day, what didn't go so well in our day, what we can do, our future plans, all sorts of things. One of the saddest memes that I've seen is a little girl. Well, she's not really little. She's like teenager age. And she is sitting across from her grandfather at a diner, and they're eating. And it says, the girl has no idea that she's running out of time. And for me, that really hit a chord with me because I actually lost my grandmother this past June, meaning this previous June that we've had. And it was very eye-opening. And there's a lot of things when you lose someone that make you start second guessing some of the things that you may have done. Like, I should have done X, I should have done Y, I should have done Z. And you think about all those things. And I know there's always going to be regrets no matter what you do. But that meme definitely hit me in the feels, so to speak. So let's just start thinking about that. Like, we don't know when will be the last time, that we're able to do what we want to do with others that we love. Also, connection is not about quantity of time, but quality of attention. Because if you're on your phone with someone for 4 hours a day and you're barely even looking at them, is there a quality of connection there? No, there's not, is there? Let's talk about the micro moments method, which is an actionable tip that you can start today. Identify 3 moments in your day for intentional attention: breakfast, your commute, and bedtime. These 5 to 10 minute pockets are gold for connection. It's 15 minutes total. Granted, it's not like a massive amount of time, probably like the time you had when you were dating before you had children, but you get the drift, right? Let's also talk about emotional presence over physical presence. There is a difference between physically being together. For instance, the example where both you and your partner are sitting on the couch and scrolling your phones, you're physically together. But are you emotionally together? He might be looking at a sports page. You might be looking at a beauty page, or a movie page, or one of your favorite actors page, or one of your favorite influencer page. You're not really being connected. You're in the same proximity, sure, and you can touch them and they can touch you, but you're not really doing the same mission, connecting with each other. You're connecting with outside people. Also, let's talk about empathy as a check-in, as a tool. I think empathy is very important in relationships, and I think that a lot of people don't really know how to utilize empathy. They may feel like they're not sure how to go about offering that. And I know that ultimately, and this is a stereotype, some men aren't as good at empathy as women are. And that's a skill that needs to be honed in on. It's a skill that needs to be exercised. It's a skill that needs to be flexed so that they can grow and get better in that. And that's the ultimate plan. And so do a 2-minute heart check. Stop what you're doing and ask, what's one thing that mattered to you today? And that's probably going to stop your partner in their tracks, and they're going to want to go into what mattered to them today. Because that isn't the usual, how are you? And as you know, how are you is often a loaded question, because there's maybe what is actually going on, like how you actually are. And there's almost like this thing that has evolved in our culture, kind of an expected response. And that expected response goes anything like, okay, fair to Midland, fine, you, right? Because we know, if we've been brought up correctly, that when someone asks how you are, you're also going to ask them how they are, right? It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of not being self-centered. It's a sign of a lot of things, right? So we know how to respond to that question. But how many people are going to do the Ali Sheedy on the Breakfast Club and just dump out their purse and be like, I've been stealing stuff, I've been doing this stuff, and I've been doing this stuff, and yeah, my whole life's a mess. Who would have expected that response from how are you? And ask yourself, what reaction would you have if you're at Walmart and someone just dumps their purse and is like, oh, I stole all this stuff from Walmart. There's kind of that, whoa, I don't really know you that well. You know what though? I'm the type of person, and I've been this person a long time. My husband actually gets a little uncomfortable with me. He actually says sometimes I'm awkwardly inclusive, which some of my girlfriends said to me, it's because, you talk to anybody. And I do. I learned that from my grandfather. I used to be painfully shy, and people would talk to me and he would literally pull me out from behind his legs and say, that person talked to you. You're going to talk back to them. And so now I talk to everybody. I talk to people at McDonald's. I talk to people at Walmart. I talk to people. When my son was little, my oldest son, he would always ask, well, what's that person's name? And I was like, well, I don't know. And he's like, well, aren't they your friend? No, I'm just making conversation with people. That's kind of what we do, is It's part of the human race, and that's what I was taught to do, so that's what I do, right? Make conversation with people. But I have random people daily stop me and want to talk to me about something. They say I look familiar. They say that, it's oftentimes the lonely people who need someone to actually acknowledge them, acknowledge that they're valuable, acknowledge that they're important. And we need the same thing in relationships, don't we? I mean, sometimes we feel like we don't matter, and we need to have that validation. That validation is so important. And especially to somebody that you're in a committed relationship with, right? Also, let's talk about active listening practice. Repeat back in your own words. So what I'm hearing is, also let's talk about a unique angle on this. Emotional connection doesn't have to include words. If that's something that you are just, it can be actions as well. It can be shared gestures. It can be notes. It can be a touch. I'm a person who likes words of affirmation and touch, both of those things. And so oftentimes, like, my husband will like rub my back or scratch my back, and that means a lot to me. Yesterday, for instance, I had done a podcast on prioritizing your partner, and he actually brought me peanut M&Ms, which I thought was very thoughtful, because obviously he was thinking of me. I thought he had got them for himself. And so I brought them to him, and he was like, no, those are for you, which was very thoughtful. He is also like an acts of service guy. For instance, today, I have some flat tires on my van just because it's been losing air or whatever, probably because of the cold weather here. And he actually wanted to get them checked out, make sure that everything was full and that we were safe and the kids were safe and all that, which is fantastic. Acts of service, right? That's awesome. And he filled up my van too. So 2 acts of service in one day. How's that for connection, right? So also, let's talk about the power of rituals. Rituals are tiny but powerful ways to stay bonded. Examples: getting morning coffee together, a nightly text exchange, or weekend micro adventures. All those things are a shared mission that you two are undertaking that you enjoy, and it's time for you all to spend together and connect. Let's talk about an actionable tip. There's a 3-word check-in. Every day, text your partner or loved one 3 words that capture your day or your feelings. It creates intimacy without a full conversation. Also, let's talk about tech-savvy connection. You can leverage technology without letting it overwhelm you, meaning you're not glued to your screen all day long. You can use video, you can use voice memos, or shared playlists as ways to stay in sync. Let's talk about actionable tips. Voice memos instead of texts. They convey tone, humor, and emotion versus just reading a flat text because you don't know the essential meaning behind it. Text can be misread all the time, and how many times are there arguments started because texts are misconstrued? Shared digital spaces. Google Docs or notes for shared goals, grocery lists, or dream boards. Dream boards are a fantastic idea because, again, that's you going on a mission. That's you opening up to each other. That's you deciding what is important in your shared life together. Connection through action. Doing something together, even small tasks, creates bonding. Example: cooking, folding laundry, grocery runs. Actionable tip: shared micro projects. Pick 5 to 10 minute household or creative tasks done together. These count as relationship exercise, meaning you're flexing your bonding muscle. Connection with yourself. Emphasize self-connection first. You can't pour from an empty cup. We all know that, don't we, ladies? Self-care fuels emotional availability. Let's talk about an actionable tip. 2-minute reset. A mindful pause during hectic days. Deep breaths, quick journal note, or a walk around the block. So, in conclusion, guys, let's talk about our wrap up and our key takeaways. Micro moments matter more than long hours. Rituals and emotional presence plus action plus tech equal connection on autopilot. I would encourage you all to pick one strategy this week and implement it immediately. Your relationship will thank you. Your partner will thank you. Try just one micro moment this week. Text a 3-word check-in. do a 2-minute heart check, or tackle a micro project together. Notice how it shifts your connection. Share your experience with me on social at recovering_perfectionist_mama, on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok if you like. I want to hear your wins and celebrate them with you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.